Hi everybody, I'm going to have a look at another cryptocurrency I haven't looked at before today. I'm going to have a look at BitTorrent. But just before we get there, I just wanted to remind everyone that on my website I am now offering a subscription to my weekly Bitcoin analysis. So if you go to pureelliottwave.com, the link is in the description box below the video. Click on the button on the home page there. And you can, if you want to, choose to sign up to my weekly Bitcoin analysis for $40 a month. It is published every Monday when I have weekly data. Let's jump into this BitTorrent analysis. This is a different format video. This is much more informal. My analysis for my subscribers has a much more formal production of video. I like this format because it helps people learn Elliott Wave and shows you how I do it. Okay, so I've got full data here for BitTorrent. I think I'm going to start with a weekly chart. Let's use weekly candlesticks. What is this huge gap? I've noticed this here. This is from October 2020 to March 2021. So there's a huge gap there in the data. I've got this data from Yahoo Finance. I'm going to have to assume that it's correct. This is what I have to work with. I'm going to see if this market has sufficient volume to produce Elliott Wave structures. So I'm going to try and do an Elliott Wave count on it. It may not have sufficient volume, and if it looks like it doesn't have good looking Elliott Wave structures, then that would not be part of my strategy for potentially investing in this. But I need to go through this process to figure that out. So let's start on the weekly chart level with I think this might have to be primary degree. I'm going to start my wave count. I can't start it off here because then that would be 1, which looks like a 3-wave structure, and 2 would move beyond the start of 1. So I think this looks like the end of a 3rd wave up here. This might look like a 4th wave. I think I need to start my wave count down here at this low. And now I'm going to go into this and see, First thing I notice is this looks like a 5. 1, 2, expanded flat, 3, 4, 5. So if we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down, but then we've got a new high beyond that start, so that would be the end of something. So I'm going to start my wave count down here. Let's expand this out. Do I want to view this on a semi-log scale? Yes, I do. Let's see if primary 1 will subdivide as an impulse. I don't think I'm going to get the middle of the 3rd wave in there. I don't think this is going to work. I suspect this market may not have sufficient volume. Then I'm not going to get a 3rd wave in there, am I? No. Oh, well, I don't know. Hang on. What if 1, 2, 3, 4? Is there an overlap? Yeah, there's an overlap. Or could it be 1, 2? If this candlestick is green, this high probably came after this low, so that actually could work. I'll need to check that at the daily chart level when I get down there. So primary 1, primary 2, primary 3, primary 4. I think this looks like an okay zigzag, but I need to check this at lower time frames. I think we've got A, B, and a long C. And I think there's an overlap in here. This isn't going to work. I've already prepared my classic analysis charts for this one. No, that's not going to work. Oh, I know what it will work as though. Double zigzag, that's better. Really common structures. So W, X, Y. X waves within multiple zigzags are usually really brief and shallow, and that one is. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, now the test is it going to work at the daily chart level? So let's save that, and from this I'm going to create a new chart. and I'm looking at daily candlesticks. Let's start and check this. Oh, okay, this isn't going to work, is it? Okay. I have to move this over here, which means I have to move this here. Is the third wave going to work? I think it might. Oh no. No, there's an overlap. Darn it. Doesn't work. How else could this work? What if this is here? Go away. And this, some kind of combination there. Then we move this here. We have some kind of combination here. This is still not going to work. This does not work. There is too much overlapping. I don't want to put 3 and 4 anywhere else. Intermediate degree. So that has to stay there. I don't want to have truncated fifth waves. Don't want to try and do something like this because no. So if I tried to do this and C2 is an expanded flat, B is way too long in relation to A, and C and A end at the same level. What's this? 0, 0, 0, 2, 1, 4. Exactly the same, so it's not truncated, so it's an expanded flat, not a running flat. And the thing about that is now C, this does look like a 5-wave impulse, doesn't it? And now you can label that downward wave as a 5-wave impulse. B looks like a zigzag. Okay, how long is B in relation to A? Oh God, it's 4.75 times the length of A. That is just ridiculous. I don't think I can do that. But that's the only way it could work, and then 4 doesn't overlap 1 in the middle of the third wave works. I don't think this has enough volume here for this to work. Oh, hang on. Well, what if intermediate 1 didn't end there? What if intermediate 1 ends here? I don't think this is going to resolve the problem. What if it was a leading diagonal? No, 3 is too long. Could it have been over here as an ending diagonal? Leading diagonal, sorry. Nope, 3 is too short. How frustrating. It doesn't resolve the problem, or no, it does actually if you had the third wave here. Then is there going to be an overlap if you have 3 and 4 here? And 1 and 2 here. Okay, well that works. 3 is the shortest. And now 4 doesn't overlap 1. That doesn't work. Okay, what if you have this up here? I don't know. It doesn't work because the third wave is too long. Or is it? How many zeros do we have here? Yeah, 3 is shorter than 1. 5 is shorter than 1, but 3 is longer than 1. I have long suspected that for diagonals, maybe the rules need to be rewritten to state a third wave can be the longest out of the actionary waves in a diagonal, so long as all the other rules are met. That might be possible, but I haven't got solid research to support that. Rewriting an Elliott wave rule, I suspect it might. I've seen a few instances where that just is the best way to label a movement, but I can't have enough confidence. For this one, I don't think it doesn't have sufficient volume for Elliott wave structures. Not in primary one either, anyway. Does it in primary 3? Oh, who knows, there's such a huge gap there. Is it now developing sufficient volume? I think that probably looks okay. I don't know about C. Really typical curved look. I think maybe B could end here as a triangle. No. Oh no, well, okay, it meets the rules, but it's not going to look right. No, the triangle trend lines aren't really contracting. That's no good. Nope, C didn't move beyond the end of A. That's not the situation you would see a truncation in. Possibly. A looks not too bad. Okay. This looks like a good 5. What have I got here? Anything? Intermediate 1 looks like a really good 5. I wonder if maybe now it does have enough volume for decent looking Elliott wave structures. The third wave looks pretty good. Let's bring MACD in. Yep, it's got the strongest momentum. Here's the end of the third wave, strongest momentum. The middle of the third wave, probably here. Yeah, that looks right. Let's put some labels in there. Yep. Okay. Is 2 over? I don't think so, because this looks like a 5, doesn't it? And you could label it as a double zigzag. That would be an alternate, but I think it might not be over. And I think I've probably got this situation. Oh, huge overlap. Is this? Yeah, that's a diagonal. Leading contracting diagonal. Trend lines don't look perfect. It's not adhered to up here, but it's not too bad. The fifth wave ends at the 1-3 trend line, so that looks good. This B wave looks particularly good. That looks like a 3, doesn't it? And the B wave within it, oh yeah, that looks really good. I think A might be over there. Is B some kind of expanded flat or combination? Oh. Okay, it can't be an expanding triangle. A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D doesn't move beyond the end of what would be B. But I find this is so common. B waves, within B waves, within B waves are so commonly expanded flats, nested expanded flats. If you're stuck with your B wave, consider nested expanded flats. So minuet B here is an expanded flat. Subminuet A would be a 3 if you look at it at lower time frames. Subminuet B itself is an expanded flat. Subminuet C is a short little impulse. And subminuet B is an expanded flat. Micro A, micro B, micro C. Has it moved? No. Has it moved? Yes, it has moved below the end of micro A. So there's no truncation. The truncation applies to where wave C ends in relation to wave A, not an extreme of B within it. So subminuet B, this is the orange label, is an expanded flat. Micro B also an expanded flat. A, B, C. That looks really good. I see that so often. B waves within B waves within B waves, expanded flats nested within them. So that looks pretty good. I don't know about this first wave. I don't want to see it over there though, because then I'm not going to accept a running flat there for minute 2. It's not in the correct context. What if it's over there? If minute 1 is over there, could it be a diagonal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get some labels in there and let's expand this out so you can see what I'm seeing. Yeah, I think 3 moves beyond the end of 1. 1, 2, 3. Does it? Yes, it does. Just 4. No, because then 3 is the shortest. That violates the rule. So I want to put 1 and 2 here. Let's get some labels in here. So the conclusion is it's probably got further down to go to complete the structure for minus C. And I'll put that there. And I would expect some increase in downward momentum if this analysis is correct. So, 2 conclusions. I think BitTorrent does now have sufficient volume for Elliott wave structures to look reasonable, so it can be part of my strategy if I choose to buy some of this. At the weekly chart level, well, it's in intermediate 2 of primary 5, so for a shorter term it could be a good idea. I might consider that, and I'm seeing, so here's the invalidation point, 0.001792, and I expect price to make a new low below here, 0.002936 at least, but not below 0.001792. Let's take a look at classic analysis. Weekly chart only. Unsurprising, after this strong upward movement, RSI reached deeply overbought, over 90, that's huge. ADX reaches over 60, that's very, very extreme. So it's unsurprising there's a deep pullback here following that situation. Not enough volume back here for Elliott wave analysis. This could be, I have 3, 4 on my Elliott wave count, but it could also be 1, 2. I could start the analysis from down here and ignore this previous movement that just didn't have sufficient volume. I don't know. Anyway, price is consolidating with resistance at 0.005, support at 0.003. Volume strongly suggests an upward breakout rather than downward. My Elliott wave support expects another test, so my Elliott wave count expects another test of support with a dip below this, so maybe it won't be by much before we see an upward breakout from this consolidation. A strong bullish signal here from on-balance volume, back in here, suggests an upward breakout as well as volume suggesting an upward breakout. RSI is well in neutral territory. There's plenty of room for a trend to again develop, and ADX is not below both DX lines, but it is back down to relatively low levels. Not very low, just relatively low. A little bit more sideways movement perhaps. Maybe that test of support will bring ADX back down further, and then the conditions will be ready to set up for a new trend. And on balance volume and volume suggest that trend will be upward. This supports the Elliott wave analysis. Stochastics neutral. How can it behave? Doesn't tend to stay overbought for long, but can remain oversold for longer periods of time in this BitTorrent price history. ATR declining as price moves sideways is normal behaviour during a consolidation. So I'm going to predict that the upward breakout is more likely than downward. If we see that, a break above 0.005, I would expect tests of new all-time highs. And if it breaks above that, I would expect a release in energy to the upside. It looks like there's quite a lot of pressure from buying, quite a lot of buying pressure or buying power underlying this market. So I think for me that might be possibly a reasonable opportunity to, I might chuck just a little bit at it, $100 or $200, and see how that goes for maybe a year, maybe 2. We'll see. a year at least, I think. Okay, that's all from me with an update on another cryptocurrency for you. Let's see what's my list. I'm working through my list that you guys gave me. I've only got 3 left on my list: Polkadot, VET and ICX. Those are coming up, plus I'll be redoing some others. I think I want to also have a look at Ripple, XRP, maybe on the weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and again, thank you so much for the support from all the YouTube subscribers. Have an awesome day.